Hey, welcome to Aaron Live. This isn't really a last second live stream because I really kind of planned it an hour and a half in advance. So it's more like just lunch with Aaron. Although I had a huge breakfast, so I'm not going to eat lunch yet. I do have some of these chocolate covered almonds, though, that are so delicious to snack on. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me. You know, the big news, of course, is we hit 1,000 subs about a week and a half ago. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop using that that intro. All the editing I had to do with the explosions, because I took the explosions off other sources, and the sound wasn't really good. In fact, sometimes there was hardly any sound at all. So I had to go in and do sound editing and add explosion effects over the top. So I did a lot of work on that. And actually, I kind of dig it. So I guess until we hit 2,000 subs, I may have to use that one pretty regularly because I guess it's apropos. As long as we're at 1,000 subs, I can use it. So anyway, we're not going to go super long today because I have to pick my daughter up at work in less than 2 hours. So let's see who's here. Oh, Hyper Kaiju, finally, he says, finally, some quality entertainment. He says that every time, and he's right every time. I do a lot of this, don't I? I do a lot of finger pointing, like just in your face kind of stuff. Leg Kick, of course, is here because Leg Kick is always here. Oh, look at this. I'm like a minute late, and he's like, I mean, I know I'm prompt. I know I'm like, you know, what Batman from the television show said to Robin, better an hour early than a minute late, old chum. So I know I have a pretty good track record, but gee, now I was watching another video, and I thought I had timed it just perfectly, but it ended just a little bit past my start time. So let's see. We got another Jaws reference there. He's a little late because he just got a couple of stripers. He'll bring him in for dinner. That was Quint, of course, on the radio. I don't think I have any more. Do I have like? I think I dumped all my Jaws video stuff I had on here because my little video clips collection here is just is too darn big. But I'm gonna have to get another Jaws one again. Angelo Karenko's here. Hey, Aaron, he says, and I say hey to you. Eric Boyd's here. All right, so we've rounded up Flying Saucer. He says, okay, sounds good. I'm sure he's referring to something I just said like 30 seconds ago, but I can't remember. Oh, so here's the interesting thing now. I am monetized. This channel is monetized. So when they stick ads in front of my videos, I get like 10 cents. It also allows you guys to do super chats, which means you send me money for free. The stupid thing I do is I spend so much time in the comments section, you guys don't need to send me any money to get me to read your comments. So I'm going to stop reading comments until you send me money. How's that? Let's see. Adam Ross says, word to your moms. Joe Bernardo's joining us. He's listening from work, and I appreciate that. Okay, so what are we going to do? Why did I call you all here today? What's the purpose of this meeting? Well, it's update time, and so let's do that. Let's do the quick rundown that you all know so well at this point. Still don't know what this is or when it's coming out, but man, when it does, it'll be cool. Actually, this is from Encode Graphics. I know that. It's a Swedish company, I believe, to be true. And they do have a sci-fi anthology. And but I keep begging the guy for release information, and I'm not getting it. So I don't know what the holdup is. But it'll definitely be out digitally. Whether or not it's available in a print form, I have no idea. But it's kind of a cool little story. He's already talking to me about doing another one with this character. And so I guess we'll see what happens. It's, like I said, as soon as I know anything, you'll know something. let's all remember that Garbage Man, of course, is available for pre-order at Amazon and your local comic shop. I just found out, for those of you who already ordered a copy, I'm sorry, but I will have some of these available in my along with my Wraith of God campaign. There'll be a big package deal where you can get all my trades and along with the Wraith of God comic, and they'll be signed and that sort of thing. So if you haven't ordered that yet, you might want to wait. If you have already, order another one. Okay. Let's see, Shadow Sentry cover. I did this for Eric Nalitowski's Shadow Sentry, which I think is funny. I need to go right now. So if you'd like to get a copy of that book with my alternate cover with the babes on it, then feel free to do that. I penciled, inked, and colored that. So I'm a regular Renaissance man. Of course, Alien Alamo is in demand right now for our good friend Graham Nolan, and that's the alternate cover I did for his book. Hey. Some of you may have heard of this. We're at darn near almost at 800 email collections at this, or pardon me, 700 email collections. I want to get, I'd like to get to 800 at least before we go live. And what's the benefit for you? The benefit for you is I'm doing this Wraith of God trading card, but it's going to be old style. It's not going to be like these new sort of hyper glossy, trading cards. This is going to be like old bubblegum pack trading card. Why? Because everything about me is retro. So I'm excited about that. It'll be kind of cool, but only the people that sign up before the campaign goes live actually get that trading card when they order the book. So you want to do that. This campaign is going to go live in less than 2 weeks. So we don't have much time if you want to sign up early to ensure that you get that really cool retro trading card. This is also the retro cover. See, I told you I'm all about retro. We're going to have 3 cover options. These are the first 2. The third one's being worked on right now by a superstar artist. Can't wait to reveal some of that, but that won't get revealed until the campaign goes live. So anyway, so we've got those. The links to go sign up for that are in the description down here of this video. It's on my Facebook page, both Facebook pages. I have links. On my Instagram bio or profile page, I have links. On my Twitter profile page, I have links. So you guys have no excuses. Run over there, put your email in there, and ensure that you get a trading card. Because they will be cool. I'm not promising any gum with the trading card, because if you remember, the gum was actually, when you bought those packs, were actually harder than the trading cards were. So we kind of actually threw the gum out and kept the cards. So let's see what we got here. AJ Tom wants more Wraith art. You're going to get it in just a second, AJ. Let's see. Shadow Sentry cover is hot, says Joe. Oh, it's smoking hot. Yeah. Oh. I'm going to put information on the back of the card like they used to have, but it won't be as, of course, as batting average, but that's pretty funny. Carl Kiesel's in the house. We all know Carl Kiesel, the legendary comic creator, writer, inker, worked on Superman, Superboy, Super this, Super that. Hi, Aaron. Could you do our pal Ron Randall a solid and mention his current Trekker Kickstarter? It ends tomorrow, Thursday, 7 p.m. I'm doing it right now, Carl. Ron, of course, Ron Randall used to be an old studio man. Well, we're both old now. I guess we're all old. But back 25 years ago, we were in Studio Source together. Ron was one of the many groovy guys in there. And he, of course, has been doing Trekker for as long as I've been alive. And so he's got it down pat, pretty much. But he's had some pretty successful campaigns with Trekker. And he is, looks like he's on Kickstarter right now. It ends tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. So you want to go check that out on Kickstarter. Now, see, Carl's already signed up for my Wraith of God, and he's looking forward to it. And Carl is a seasoned professional, so he knows quality when he sees it, so trust Carl Kiesel. And, you know, I did a, hang on one second. Talk amongst yourselves. This was originally a pinup I did for Carl's book, Impossible Jones, and he ended up using it as a cover for one of his trades, I believe. So if you want to be a Lopresti completist, you might want to pick this up from Carl. I believe he did it on Kickstarter as well. I don't know if that's open or closed right now, but you know, like any smart publisher or self-publisher, Carl's definitely going to have printed up a few extra copies, I'm sure, to sell. So you might want to look into that. Oh, Carl wants me to know that, or wants you to know that King Shark, he created King Shark. It's his biggest claim to fame, as hard as that is to believe. So Carl is expecting a huge royalty check from the Suicide Squad movie coming up, I'm sure. Maybe a little check. They're going to give you something. They've got to give you something, right? Oh, look at that. Carl's he's going to use his royalty money from King Shark to buy that pinup from me. Well, Carl, just contact me. I will give you a nice deal on it, I'm sure. Although now that it's cover art, it's more expensive. So you waited too long. That's not true. I will hook you up. There's the information. Your Impossible pinup will be an alternate cover for Scout Comics and Impossible Jones #3. Wow. So there you go. So it is cover art, or it will be cover art. So there you have it. From, I was going to say the mouth of Carl Kiesel, but that's actually the fingers because he's doing the typing. This is so convoluted, I don't even know if I can. Is it a Star Trekker Aaron Con? So what he's referring to is, I have a once or twice a year I'll do a what do we call it? A virtual yeah, a virtual con that we like to call Aaron.
Logical.
Spock agrees, thinks it makes sense, but that's what Joe's referring to. Is well, Jeff says nice hat, which may be the nicest thing he's ever said to me. Oops. Wait, your cover is Imp 2. #3 is that hack Terry Dodson. Oh, see, Carl doesn't even know. See, Carl, you need to figure out your publishing schedule and then get back to me, okay? This hat, Jeff, this is the nicest thing Jeff's probably ever said to me. Nice hat. Although he's probably being sarcastic, knowing him. My daughter goes to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, so that's what this is. And she'll be going back here in about a month. So, yeah, see, David Williams doesn't like it being called Aaron. He prefers it to be the Aaron Extravaganza, so, which I guess in a way it is, but Aaron Con's a little easier to say. Let's see here. Let's see. Bet you get a free bowl of soup with a hat like that. Wow. That's so weak. I'm not even going to give you a slap for that. You're going to have to come with better material than that if you want to get slapped. No, I was asking about the bigger Trekker. Wait a minute. No, Joe was saying, I was asking about the, let me just put it up. No, I was asking about the Trekker campaign Carl was referring to. I know, but you were making, it was a second reference to Aaron Con. Joe, if I have to explain your jokes to you, then we've got problems. Actually, Jeff, I will admit I did see them in the comments, so I do appreciate your kindness every once in a while. What am I supposed to do? David says, wear your hat like this? Is that like a Kevin Smith thing? Am I like, The only time I wear my hat like this is when I'm shooting baskets, because when I go up for my shot, my hand will hit the rim, so I flip it around. But I'm too old to do that, aren't I? Do I turn it like this? Is that like gangsta? I don't know. No, Jeff hasn't got slapped yet, but we're hoping. Dude, I know the reference. I'm just saying that just it's not good enough. You got to come with better material than that. Carl's dipping out of here once he got his plug in, but that's fine, Carl. I understand. It's all business. No, thanks for dropping in, Carl. I appreciate it. It legitimizes my show, and actual people of prominence in the industry show up. So thank you very much, and get to work. Okay, that's pretty good. That's of course a He-Man reference. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do a little. We're gonna do a layout, and we're gonna do some art. I was gonna just ink. I'm working on a limited edition. Well, it'll be the print that's available with the campaign, the Wraith of God campaign. I was just going to ink that, but then I also wanted to lay a page out for page 4 of Wraith of God, and I thought, what a great time to do a little tutorial, right? Oh, I want to also point out that I am very shortly going to open this channel up for memberships, and those will include some different things, but one of them will be specific videos, like how-to videos and things like that. That'll be not just live like me streaming, but they'll be actually processed videos with editing and all that kind of stuff that will be available to subscribers only, and that type of thing. But I still got to kind of figure out how all that works. So anyway, you can stay tuned for that. All right, so the dog is asleep on the floor, so that means we should be safe from any questionable noise. Oh, someone asked if I was going to draw a black bolt. Yes. David Williams is coming on for soon for round 4 of competitive drawing, and we're going to draw a black bolt. Now, he has an advantage because he's black already, so he should be able to cruise through it, but I'm still going to crush him anyway. But I don't know if that's going to be this Sunday or not. Maybe it'll be this Sunday. We'll have to talk to David. He's in the chat right now. So if he's up for the challenge, I might invite him over Sunday for a little competitive drawing round 4, and we'll do Black Bolt. As much as I paid for that education, I should use it once in a while. And that's the other thing. I'm going to start doing more short processed videos again, like Talking Comics and Art with Aaron Lopresti, because the shorter videos get more hits, right, than these lengthy live feeds. The live streams are great for live, but when they go up and you post them on for viewing later, I mean, it's pretty hard, I think, to get someone to sit there for 2 or 3 hours and when you're not fully engaged like you guys are right now in a live stream. So I'm going to try and do some shorter videos too that people, see. David's talking, but oh, I do want some of this smoke. I'm going to put the fire out, and that's all there's going to be is smoke. You'll be smoldering as I torch you. I'm not a good trash talker. I was when I played basketball. I never started it. But if somebody started talking trash to me, I was relentless until the end of the game. I almost got in a couple fights because of it. But I never started it. But David's bringing it to me. So be prepared. Be prepared. Okay, so let's take a look at the script. I have to share the screen here, which, of course, as you all know, I have to hit 6 different buttons to get it there. There it is. Okay, so what are we looking at here? This is page 4. Now, if you recall, which maybe you do, and maybe you don't, we're going to take a quick look at the first 3 pages before I start drawing, so we can remember where we're at. But let's take a look at what the script has to say. It says, on the end of page 3, the Wraith was jumping off the rock, chasing down one of the bad guys, right? And so in panel 1, the Wraith grabs a fleeing cowboy, putting him in a headlock and driving his face first into the ground. Then the Wraith stands over the fallen cowboy. He looks up at the Wraith, blood trickling down his nose, and he says, "How did you know?" And on the Wraith, looking down at his victim with his 6-shooter, he fires as he answers, "No evil escapes the sight of God or his messenger." Blam! So he takes that guy out. So he's killed 2 guys in 4 pages. Then we go to panel 4 on the second dude that ran away, right? There was 2 guys that got away, right? After the first one was shot. And what the heck is... I got some sort of flutter going on here. What is going on? Okay, I think we're all right. Okay. See, something's twitching on my screen. I don't know what's causing that. But anyway, so we'll get through this quickly. Maybe the twitching will stop. So then we go to panel 4. We have on the second guy that got away. He's hiding behind a rock. His gun is drawn. And he's saying, "Come on, come on." And panel 5, close on the clouds drifting to reveal a full moon. So we've been here at dusk in this story so far. It's the last night of the full moon, but the moon has not come out yet. But now it is. And the guy says, "Finally." And then in the shadows, he starts to change. What could it be changing into? Let's see. It's a full moon. The story's about werewolves. I have no clue. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So you say 6 panels. Geez, Aaron, that sounds like a lot. Well, these 3 panels at the bottom are going to be really small kind of transitional panels. There's really not much dialogue to speak of. So we don't need to waste a lot of space on those. So let's tackle this thing. Hilary Barta has joined us. Hilary, of course, is also a seasoned professional. Happy to have him aboard from the Chicago area. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. 2 men enter, only David leaves. See, that's going to get you one of these. That's I don't happen to agree with that. Yes, that's basically I was trying to be nice. But you still have all your hair. There's silver curly locks. Well, almost like a Playboy kind of look, but the gray does kind of give you away there. All right, so let's take a quick look here. Now, as we recall, this was, you know what, I'm going to switch cameras. And then I only have to push like 3 buttons to do that. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, then I got to close, so that's actually 4. Okay, so let's take a look at the first 3 pages really quickly. Okay, so page 1, kill that light. Okay, page 1, got the guys in the campground, right? And there's the horses in the foreground. Some witty banter. The mysterious entrails of smoke surround our 3 cowboys. They look up, and what do they see? They see the Wraith of God looking down on them. And then on page 3, our leader's like, you don't know who you're messing with. And the Wraith says, yeah, pretty much I do. And then he shoots him in the head to kind of make his point. The guy falls into the fire, which of course the Wraith planned that way because the dude's a werewolf, can't take any chances, right? So burn him so there's nothing left to change into a werewolf. So the dudes run away. Run away! It's very Monty Python-esque. And then the Wraith jumps off the rock, almost like a bat, grabbing one of the, or about to grab one of our bad guys here. Okay, so that's where we left off. Now here's the thing. I was originally thinking that I would do a low angle shot in the first panel of this page. Now, granted, it is a separate page. Okay, we got to fix this burned out lighting again. Okay, so originally I was going to have a low angle shot, but of him kind of pile driving this guy's head into the turf. The problem is, if you look at these last two panels, this is a low angle. This is still sort of a low angle, but from a different, you know, slightly more to the front as to the side, which this is, but they're still both low angle shots. Okay. So do I really want to start the next panel with yet another low angle shot? I suppose I could. Maybe I will. I was going to change my mind. I was thinking about doing a profile. I'll show you what I was thinking, and then we'll see if maybe that was a good idea or maybe it wasn't a good idea or isn't a good idea. We got the fan going. Oh, darn it. Okay. Okay, that's better there. Okay, so let me go in a little bit closer. I think, let me show you what I was thinking for my options here. So we go across like this, and I was thinking of, you know, almost like a, like the Wraith, if he was wrestling with a, you know, a calf or something like that and driving it into the ground, right? So we got the guy here, maybe his hands are, that's a terrible hand, but out like this, and the Wraith is sort of pile driving him into the dirt, right? From this angle, right? But again, it's a very similar angle to the one we just looked at, right? So what I was also thinking about doing was kind of doing this side view, which in a way it might actually work better now that I think about it. So what we'd have is the Wraith here. Again, sort of pile driving the guy's head into the ground. His legs, of course, would be like this, and maybe his arm out to the side here. You got the Wraith's cape would be coming up here. I know some of this kind of stuff is hard to see, but so we got some speed lines maybe here like this as they kind of hit the dirt and kick up. So basically we show this guy's head buried in the dirt as a Wraith pile drives him in like this. And I might have the Wraith laid out like this too. More like maybe, I don't know. It's kind of a cowboy. You might wrestle him to the ground like you would do a calf or something. So, I'm actually going to go this route because I just think this is too similar to the two panels we did before. Oh my gosh, look at this. My very first my very first super chat from Andy Smith. Woo! I got $2. Thank you, Andy. I should go to all your guys' channels and just like, do like $1 here and there and stuff because I just figured out how to do this. So ladies and gentlemen, I've made $2. Well, actually, I haven't because I only get, I think, 70% of that. So I've made that'd be what, $1.50 maybe. So how about that? Thank you, Andy. Wow. This is a good question. Do I thumbnail every page or the complex ones? I actually, it depends. I didn't used to. I used to do my layouts on the paper because it's a time saver. And if you're, if you're working on deadlines or whatever, it's you try to save a few minutes here or there wherever you can. All right, I'm turning this fan off. It can't get too hot for the short period of time that I'll be on here. Oh, God, this lighting is driving me nuts. All right, that's good enough for government work. But if I want to do a really, if I really want to do some, not just your average storytelling, yeah, I'll be doing layouts for every page. Every once in a while, something formulates in your mind, right? And all right, hang on a second. This is really pissing me off. Okay, that's somewhat better. Now that my channel's monetized, I better figure out my my production department so I can do a little bit better job here. To answer your question, a lot of times, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But with a project like this, and like Garbage Man, I think I did layouts for all of the Garbage Man stuff, with the exception of occasionally I would have it all figured out in my head, right? So I didn't need to do it. Like sometimes splash pages and stuff I won't, because you get this bit of inspiration and you're like, you just know what you want to do and you just do it. But okay, so we have the Wraith pile driving this dude's head into the ground. Kicking up rocks and dirt. Okay. All right, so our second panel then is, and again, this can change because stuff changes as I develop this storytelling over the page, and you start looking like we did last time at panels and say, no, this doesn't really work, or this isn't clear enough, and you can add stuff and take stuff away. Does that $2 buy me a link into the stream? Well, I'm trying to talk about storytelling here, Andy. So if we start a conversation, I'll send you a link. Hi, Aaron. Working. Can't stick around. Good luck. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it. What happens if you decide to go outside the thumbnails? Does it cause you to redo future pages? I'm not sure if he's making a joke or if he's being serious. Look at that. The Brohawk is drawing a fight scene as I'm laying one out. Hang on a second. I gotta send Andy an invite because Andy has a new campaign and he has to plug it, and I have to be supportive of Andy. So, dang, now I gotta go to Facebook. Excuse me. Ooh, someone posted a really cool. It's Conan and Moon Knight on Facebook. David Finch on Facebook. Oh, that's really cool. I'm kind of a big fan of finches. Okay, I've successfully sent Andy a link. So now it's on him to get in here. Okay, so let's get back to this. Okay, so the second thing is the Wraith stands over our fallen cowboy. He looks up at who looks up at Wraith, blood trickling down his nose. So that says to me we're going to be looking over the Wraith's shoulder down at the guy he just pile drived, right? So now the question is, what's the best way to do that? Well, I tend to really enjoy horizontal panels more than vertical panels. So that's my inclination, is to go that route first. There he is.
Well, hello.
Andy.
Actually, see, I'm not going to distract you, and I'm serious from you're talking about your storytelling, but I can help you by reading questions that come up in the chat so you don't have to look up.
Wow.
See that? I'm going to help you.
You paid me, and now you're going to help me. Wow.
Well, I want that. I want to earn that $1.40. Well, actually, wait. If I earned it, you pay me. No, you need to earn that $1.40, and that's about my.
Well, no. See, I'm giving you a chance right now to go ahead and plug your thing.
First,
fact, let me do this. Let me go to Indiegogo and bring it up, and then we can run your trailer.
Okay, and I do appreciate that, but that's not why I came on. But because I'll be doing my show later with Dennis at 5, but I was getting on here to do some scanning and some stuff to email out to somebody I'm doing something for, and saw you on and want to be your first. I can't believe I was your first super chat. Yay!
Maybe my only one.
You just spend that $1.40 well. Don't you go wasting it.
I won't. I'll put.
I'd say go buy a comic, but that's impossible. So.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you could probably find some good dollar stuff. I found some good stuff.
The old dollar bins. Okay, let's take a look at Andy's campaign. This is for First Man 2 Learning Curve. He has 244 backers. 12 days to go. We need to pump up this this revenue stream for him. Let's take a look at the video.
There you go.
Luke Henry, after kicking Monarch's ass to the depths of space, is back on Earth. And now he's looking to save the world from the Fourth World Foundation. Sure, he had help from Penumbra before, but she's not helping him this time. He's got to face it on his own. Look at these 4 people. He's come for a villain known as Adonis. He'll do it. He'll be there. Back it now. First Man 2. Learning Curve.
There she blows.
What's great about this video is it's not too long. You get to the point, and rather than dragging it out and boring people. That's a good video.
Well, thank you. And that's the recut that Ethan had done by actually in a roundabout way. So there's this guy on YouTube, Shantith, I think is how you say it. And he's an artist, and he recut it because my original video was only a minute long, so not like it was that much longer. And Ethan on his stream one night was like, "Hey, do a voiceover," and I was like, "Okay." So I did this voiceover, not knowing what was going on, and yeah. So I kind of every few days I switch back and forth between the minute-long one and that shorter one, but. The overall visuals were by that guy, Nick. So hopefully he's doing something for you.
Well, I sent him an email and he did not, he's not responded. I sent it like several days ago. So I may have to end up doing my own if he doesn't get back to me here pretty quick.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. So maybe I'll send him another one just in case.
Yeah, try that. I think he's on Twitter as well.
All right.
But yeah, thanks for pimping that. Yes, we're working towards the next stretch goal. So let's get it up to the 15K. And I saw AJ Tom said, "Don't sing," because on my morning show I sang and Alexa started playing the song I was singing. So
Oops, sorry.
Shut up. Now she's talking. Alexa, cancel. Damn, I can't say that word. Damn it. Alexa, cancel. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
I was like, man, I keep forgetting you have to say your digital assistant. Because if you actually say what I said,
Then
you
they-
see what happens.
Yes.
But hey, congratulations! Also, I heard you mention you got you're almost at 800 email
Almost
signups, dude.
700. I had to correct. I recorrected.
Oh,
It's,
Well-
2 away from 700 right now. So
Oh, 2 away. You'll get that by the end of this stream.
yeah, I would hope so. Let's see here. Finch can certainly draw Moon Knight. Yeah. Let's see. David Williams says, Aaron, does Fat Albert show up anytime in your Wraith story? Oh, man. No. Maybe I'll put him in now.
That would be funny.
Okay.
So that's cool. So you're working on, when you do layouts, not because I know you usually go blue pencil right to the board, but when you don't do that, is this how you usually do them with the Sharpie on typing
No,
paper?
I do them sometimes I'll do them in pen, but I'm doing them in a Sharpie specifically just so they show up better for the live stream. Most of the time
Right,
I'll do them in pencil.
So will you then blow this up to trace it off, or just set it
No.
next to your desk? Oh, you'll just
No,
set it.
this is just I used to do that Neil Adams method, I do kind of like pretty decent little thumbnails that,
Mhm.
and then I would blow them up and trace them. But gosh, it was like everything got so posed looking, over refined by doing that,
Yeah.
that I was getting tighter instead of looser. So I quit doing that. But yeah, I do this just in case there's like some sort of storytelling thing I want to figure out that'll be really cool, that when you do it on the page, sometimes you just kind of go to the stuff and
Right.
it's clear storytelling, but it's not necessarily the most interesting thing you could have done. So I'm trying to do that here.
I know sometimes I'll, and I think this was a suggestion from Bart back when I was in the Kubert school, because he was working with Giffen. And I mean, I don't know, have you worked with Keith?
Yeah, I want to say I have. I know Keith. I think we worked on something. I'm trying to remember. I'm
But
pretty
you know
sure
what his layouts look like when he
Right,
does it.
yeah.
So Bart suggested back in the Kubert school, because he was working on Justice League Europe at the time, from Keith's layouts. And of course he would change them and stuff. But he's like, if you're ever having a problem figuring out a layout for a page, and it is it doesn't matter if it's 4 panels or 5 or whatever it is, but his basic gist was just take a piece of, paper like you're doing, and just do a standard 4-panel grid and, lay it out that way. And then that'll help you visualize it. And then from there, you can take it easier sometimes to a more, I guess, extravagant layout, because you're seeing the basic. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Right. No, that's generally what I do, is I'll lay it down in just so everything that needs to be there, right? And then take a look at it and say, okay, well, can I change this angle? Can I make this angle more interesting? And then change it up. So yeah, that's exactly what I do. That is.
See, Aaron, you got to take the Graham Nolan method. I don't know if you saw on his campaign, he's doing all his initial layouts this way, like you are, and then he's drawing them, and then he's doing the whole book after that, digitally. But he's doing them all like this because that's a campaign perk. You can buy the whole book of layouts.
Wow, how much? Wow, how about that?
I knew you were going to say how much. I will look, because I know you're busy and I've got a computer up right in front of me. So I will look, and I'll tell you what that is. That perk is going for. And I don't know if this is something else you were thinking about that I'm doing again. And I did it in my first one, not First Man, but the other book, Jungle Lords. I did do that tier where you draw somebody in the book.
I am doing that, actually. And because I've got a scene where a bunch of unsavory characters are playing poker, in this.
Oh, there you go.
And so I'm going to have an option for people to put their be one of the poker players, and you actually get the original art too.
Cool. Let's see. I'm looking now. Okay, original layouts and script. I'll read you his description. These are the original hand-drawn layouts and handwritten script of the entire story by Graham Nolan. At least 56 pages of original layouts, art. You also will receive the printed ash can. So he has a stretch, not a stretch goal, but he also has a perk for an ash can he's going to have printed of just the layouts. And one copy of the Alien Alamo wraparound cover, and that's $600. And obviously that's a one and done because there's only one of a kind. So,
right. That's an interesting concept. Fragaboom does something too that I think is interesting. And this is what I was thinking about doing, because I think it's brilliant, is that he has a fairly expensive tier, not tier, but a membership on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
I think it's like $100 a month, but he sends these guys like a couple of roughs.
Yeah, sketchbook stuff he does. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got stacks and stacks of stuff from Amethyst, Captain Marvel, Excalibur sitting over there. And some of these are, what I used to do was I used to do 11 by 17 full-size layouts, and then I would light table them onto the board. I did that with Amethyst, especially because it was shot from my pencils, and I wanted to keep it really, really clean. And so I have stacks of that stuff, and these are not like these kind of layouts. These are like well-drawn stuff, and I'm thinking about doing that with on my YouTube channel now that I can offer memberships.
I was going to ask, so now that you're at 1,000, you can offer memberships and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that took you less than 30 days to for their approval, man. They got right back to you.
They did it in 24 hours.
Look at that.
I just couldn't figure out how to do it. It wouldn't work. And then I said, Shelly, you got to take a look at this, man. I cannot get this to work. And she had it like done in like 5 minutes. And I was like, what the heck? So, anyway.
Oh, by the way, anybody watching, if you would like to go over to the Andy Smith YouTube channel and subscribe, that would be awesome, because I'm trying to get to 1,000. And the best part is, Aaron and I never cross streams. So you can subscribe to mine and his and not have to think to yourself, but what if you're both on at the same time? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Because when I'm on, Aaron is still sleeping because it's 5 o'clock his time when I do my show.
Man, that's the truth. Here's a question David Williams has for you, Andy. Have you ever drawn the He-Man characters?
I did a variant cover when Val Staples had the license to He-Man. So I did a variant cover for one of his books that was an online only. And that was with what He-Man and Tila looked like when Val had the license. So they didn't look, they were just updated versions of the classic. And so that was fun. Jason Keith colored it, and Jay Liston inked it. It was right towards the end of CrossGen, so I was still there when I drew it. And then I did a commission of classic He-Man and She-Ra for someone that I have a scan of as well. And Val Staples actually colored that for fun. So yes, I have. I don't want to, this is Aaron's channel. I'm not going to abuse it by saying share my screen and show it. And I don't even have it pulled up, so I'm just saying. But I did show it on one of my streams a couple days ago, so if you want to go back. And then there was something else somebody said too, I thought. Maybe not. Yeah, so if you want to subscribe to my channel, everybody watching, please do. I would appreciate it so much. And that's what I paid Aaron $2 for, so I could pimp my channel. See,
that's right. That's like, all it takes is $2, man, and you're on.
$2 is easy. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. When you were drawing Amethyst, while you were drawing it, were you wearing a dress? I mean, you can admit it. It is a chick book.
No, I
because Wonder Woman's a chick book, but an awesome chick book. Amethyst is kind of a limp wrist chick book.
Dude, now check this out. You know what this is?
I don't know. I can't see it. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that a HeroClix Amethyst?
Yes, with my costume design.
You designed a costume? I didn't know you designed a costume for it.
Oh, heck yeah, I did.
But did you get any money for that?
No.
Oh,
But we're
you
hoping
need
that
to hope that they bring that to the big screen
I
or a
know.
cartoon or something. Because, Shane Davis gets royalty checks for that cat that he made up in the Red Lanterns and stuff. So,
Really?
yeah.
They did that. They did that Amethyst cartoon, but I don't think they used my costume.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
dude, that's yeah. And let me guess, you bought that HeroClix.
of course, they didn't send it to me. No, I called them and I asked them. They go, look, dude, we don't get that stuff. That's just like that's a licensing thing with another company. So they didn't, they didn't have any to send me, or they would have. Oh, but see, look at this now. Let's go
What's
in
that?
the Mega Wayback Machine.
Oh, I see it. What is that? I can't. It's small.
That's Tachyon, dude.
Oh, they did a Tachyon HeroClix.
Yes, with again my design. That's me,
Dude. I got to admit, I didn't know you at the time you were drawing Tachyon. We didn't meet until 2000.
right?
But I remember when the book came out, and I liked that design because obviously look at First Man. I like costume designs that are sleek and clean, and you have to draw it over and over. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be so cool to draw. That's such a cool design. But
Well,
a friend of mine did ink you on that. I believe she did. Jordy Ensign, does that name ring a bell?
Good job. She did a good job. She worked on that for a while. I don't know what she's up to. I haven't seen her in ages, but
oh, she's in I think she's still in the Orlando area. Maybe not. She was teaching, I think, at Full Sail in Orlando. She might have moved back to the part of Florida she's from, which I think is more towards the East Coast, not Daytona, but a city over there. But she does. I want to say she does computer stuff. Computer graphics or something.
Computer stuff, don't they?
What's that?
Everybody's doing computer stuff now.
Well, I mean, I do computer stuff, but that's late at night, and I charge a quarter. So.
You charge a quarter? What did you say?
I said I do it late at night on OnlyFans, and I charge a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Now, what is that?
And I don't show my face. What? OnlyFans, I guess I've never been on it, but I guess there's some actresses that don't do too well that are on it and stuff. It's a thing. I assume it's just for ladies. You go to and you can pay a fee and see photos and I don't know. Hey, but it's funny. So I have an assistant, Aaron. You've never met her, but her name is Christine. That works in my office. Assistant? Yeah, she works in my office. People that are watching you right now that watch me know of Christine. And I've instituted in my little office here above my garage a mask mandate because I'm COVID safe. So I made a mask. I gave her mask, and she's not here right now, but I'll model it for you so you can see what it looks like. Hold on. This is her mask. That I make her wear when she's at work. I wanted to make it accessible for things she has to do at work at the same time. So this is Christine's mask.
So that's a mask she can wear so she can breathe and talk to you. And you can.
Well, I wanted to be able to talk and breathe and sip her morning latte.
Right. Well, I think
I don't know what anybody else is thinking this is for, but that's what it's for. So, so that's for my assistant Christine. I have. Aaron, I'm shocked that you've never met Christine.
No.
Oh well, if she comes in when we're on this live stream, I'll let you know and I'll have her pop in.
No, wait a minute. So you pay this young lady to help you out?
Well, of course. I mean, I'm a capitalist after all. I wouldn't have her work for free. Good Lord.
See, I'm too cheap to hire anybody.
Let's see. Dr. Mask says, I think Andy was onto something on one of his streams. Incorporate an ad into the comic and make some extra on the book or just product placement. Oh, I don't do that. I don't, unless he's talking about my parody ad. My parody ad doesn't pay for anything. That's just a parody ad I do.
You know what I want to do? I want to do like stamps. We should do like the old Marvel stamps in the book and put everybody's like just everybody do like one of somebody else's character in their books for the stamps.
That would be cool. Now, see, here's what I would do though. I would do this if I got I'm just bringing this up. This is literally not a pitch to you, but I'm going to use you as the example because we're talking.
All right.
If you ever wanted to do a parody ad, like I do for hosted fruit pies, not hostess, hosted fruit pies, using your character, say Wraith, I would switch and put that in my book, but you would have to put my First Man parody ad in your book.
That's a great idea. That's a lot of work, though. A value stamp is much less work.
The parody ad isn't that much. I mean, it's work from the standpoint of you have to draw it, but whoever you have do your lettering would letter it, and then honestly, it's just flat color. So flat color takes no time.
Oh, I'm just thinking a value stamp is like less work. That's all.
But you're right.
That's a hilarious idea. I love that. Like the Hostess fruit pie and all that kind of stuff. I actually did a Snickers ad with the Shazam family.
I know,
and that was a blast. I love that.
Oh my God! So I'm so glad. I'm so glad you brought that up. I keep meaning to tell you this. At least I don't think I've told you this already. So you know how Wiz Comics 22 that you have yours is a 6.5, right?
Yes.
And the one I have is a 4.5.
Yes.
Copy. And I told you about Norm Ratman, right?
I know you. Well, yeah. That he's got his he stole my Shazam pages and won't give them back because he inked them and he won't send them back.
No, not that. He has a 1.5 copy of that book. He has a 6.5 copy. And just within the past month or so, we were talking and he couldn't help himself. He just bought a 5.5 copy. So now he has 3 CGC copies of that book.
And my Snickers ad that he stole. So
right.
Well, the story behind that is that the guy that had all those copies was hoarding them for years and years and years, and he finally sold them a couple years ago, just before the pandemic, because he had some flood damage in his house they had to pay for. So he finally got rid of them. I mean, he had a ton of copies, like almost every one that was on the market. This guy had bought, so they were impossible to find. And that's where I got my copy. And I'm sure that's where most of these copies that are sort of filtering out now are coming from. There's still not a ton of them out there, but there's more available.
I guess it wasn't you that told me this then, because you'd know the number. Maybe it was Norm that told me that there's only like 33 copies that are graded out there.
Yeah, I didn't check. I probably did at some point, but I can't remember. I may have told you that. But the fact of the matter is most of these copies are coming from this guy, or came from this guy's collection. So let me take a look at this storytelling really quick here and show everybody what I did.
Yeah, let's see it. Bounce me out. Go single, baby.
Bounced, man. You're officially bounced. Okay. So so we have the Wraith pile driving the bad guy into the ground. Then he stands up over him, and the guy looks up at him and it's like, "How did you know?" Of course, what he's referring to is how do you know that these guys were these werewolves? And the Wraith says, "No evil." Wait a minute. He says, "How do you know?" Then the third panel is this low-angle shot looking up at the Wraith with a gun firing, and he says, "No evil escapes the sight of God or his messenger." So he kills this dude. Then we cut to, and we kind of let his cape and his tattered cape sort of create the panel border here for this little 3-panel sequence of the other guy who's hiding in the rocks with his gun drawn. And then we look up in the nighttime sky and we see the full moon is kind of creeping out from behind a couple of clouds.
Oh, hey, Christine. You decided to show up to work today. Well, that's awesome. Oh, my God. You're doing a live stream with somebody else? Oh, you got to let me on the live stream. You got to. All right. Hold on a second. It's not my live stream. It's my friend Aaron. I'll let you on.
This sounds like
Oh my God!
Sounds
That's
like
Aaron
Psycho.
Lopresti. Aaron Lopresti drew one of my favorite Wonder Woman runs ever. I'm so glad to be here. Oh wait, hold on. He's telling me I have to mask up. I forgot about the COVID policy. Hold on. Oh, it's just so hard to get. Oh my God! Oh, I'm gonna blush. It's Aaron Lopresti. I can't see his pretty face though. He's so handsome.
Oh my gosh. You know, this does feel kind of like Psycho, you know, the movie, the Hitchcock movie. Getting a little
His wife is so lucky. You guys don't understand. I'm friends with her on, well, she doesn't know. I follow her on Facebook. I follow Aaron a lot, though, to cons and everything. Oh, my God. Wait, hold on. What do you want? All right, get out of the chair, stupid. I got to get back to it. Aaron doesn't want to see your face. Oh, my God. Don't call me stupid. That's not nice.
Wow.
Fine. All right. Oh my God, it was so nice. It was so nice meeting you. All right, he's yelling at me. I hate when he yells at me.
I had no idea. Thank you.
Get out of the chair. I got to get back to it. Good Lord. File some of my comics. Don't ruin them. They're in mint condition. And remember, alphanumerical, Christine. Good God.
Well, that was cool, Andy. Can I finish?
Oh my God. Aaron, I apologize.
Yeah, I know. It's, you know,
she is, you know, you can't get great help these days. But I do my best.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you just, you know, they're fans. That's why they want to work in the industry. So I get it. I get it.
You know, there's that website called Fiverr where you can hire people for like $5 on up. I got her off of Twofer. So it's like $2 on up. So, you know, she jumps in on the morning show every now and then. I'll let her introduce my morning show because I'm nice like that.
Well, I mean, you got to throw them a bone once in a while, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Hey, pal. No dirty talk. I'm so glad.
Well, not on my stream. You get your mind
seriously,
out of
you just said throw her a bone. Oh, now she's giving me dirty looks because I repeated what you said.
Well, see, I'm kind of embarrassed now. I wasn't expecting. Okay, well, so let me finish why don't I finish what I was talking about here?
I'm sorry.
If I can. So we go to this low angle shot of the Wraith firing the gun, and then we go to this 3-panel sequence here of the other guy who's hiding behind a rock, got his gun out. We go up to the full moon. We see that it's peeping out between the clouds. And then we're going to have him in shadows sort of changing. Like there's, you know, it shouldn't be a big surprise what he's changing into, but we're going to save that for the next page. So that is, as of this point, my layout. Now, some of this could change as I get inspired when I start actually penciling this, because that often happens. I start thinking, well, you know what? Maybe this would work better this way, or that would work better that way. So anyway, that is the layout right there. And we're going to go with that for now. And
dude, that was really nice.
Well, thank you.
Well, I mean, seriously, I don't do stuff like that in Sharpie. I just don't get, I guess, a good clean vision in my head like that for what you showed. Ooh, what page is this?
Okay, well, this is the limited edition pinup that will be available, or that'll be not a pinup, but a print that'll be available for.
Oh, that's cool.
With the campaign, so I got to get this sucker inked and colored in short order. Or
is that something you're looking at, like a stretch goal?
No, it's a tier.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got other stretch goals that.
Yeah.
So do you guys reveal your stretch goals, or do you wait until you hit the thing before you reveal them?
I have it. Let me take a look on mine. But as far as I can remember, I have it written out what it is. So I'm literally going to the bottom so I can be accurate with what I say. Yeah. So I have at the very bottom, it just says stretch goals, and then it says the amount, and then it just has the text of what it is. And then once it gets unlocked, or when it's real close to being unlocked, that's when I show it. Right. So like, you know, the trading card, the first one's unlocked. So there's a picture of that now. And then the metal bookmark is so close that I put the picture up of that as well.
So, so it's cool then to reveal what your stretch goals are. You just don't show them until they hit the goal, but you can tell what they are.
Well, you can do it however you want. I mean, if you want to show them what they are, go ahead. But it's kind of enticing in a way not to see it and just to write
not
what it is.
Tell them. I mean, you just don't
right.
say.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You don't say first stretch goal is $50,000. Second stretch goal is 60. You tell them what the stretch goal is. You just don't show it until you hit it.
Right. No, mine says stretch goals. Then it said $10,000, and then it says what the stretch goal is. 4x6 trading card, $15,000. Metal bookmark, and then from there, yeah. And then once it unlocks, I do a big unlocked, and then I show it. And some people really work up these really great graphics and stuff, but I just have it with the standard, bold text and then the image below it.
Well, I have 3 stretch goals figured out. One is going to be and this honestly, this surprised me because it's way more expensive than I would have thought. But I'm going to do an Ace of Spades playing card with the Wraith printed on the back of the card, right? It's not going to be an entire deck. It's just going to be an Ace of Spades, right?
Right. Well, it's like a trading card.
Yeah, but it's more expensive than a trading card. A lot more expensive.
Is it?
So that's going to be one, and then I've got a sticker set of the Leprestiverse characters. Will be another one.
Oh,
and,
cool. How many stickers is that, or is that mum's the word right now?
Well, it's between. There's going to be at least 8, possibly 10.
Oh, cool.
And then there's added pages because I have this epilogue that sort of ties in Wraith of God to my modern universe characters like Garbage Man and stuff. And so there's like going to be this, like an added scene at the end of one of the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to have, that's going to be the last goal. So that's what I got figured out. So I got some good stuff. I think it'll be fun.
That's cool.
So yeah, so I'm teaching myself to, or I shouldn't say teaching myself, but I'm getting sort of disciplined here and just using the pen. I want to grab a brush all the time, and I'm like, nope. I mean, I do to fill in the blacks, but I'm staying consistent with this project and doing everything in pen.
I think it looks very cool. It's definitely like we were talking about on the previous one when you were inking that first page. It definitely has more of a illustrated look because of the fine line work compared to the brush look, which, I guess when you think of brushwork, most people think of comics because they think of bold brushwork. I mean, you can obviously do it. Look at Alfredo Acala and what he could do with a brush. That was illustrative, but you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, you and I both sort of have a more of an old school look to our superhero work when we, use the brush and stuff. And so I didn't want that look for this book, and I think it's working out. So and I appreciate it appreciate you saying that.
Joe Bernardo asked, which pen do you prefer?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, the ones I'm using, I don't prefer, so I'm going to switch. I've been using the, hang on a sec here. I had Mark Brooks turned me on to those Le Pens, and I was using those for a while, but they're a little bit more gray. The microns are actually blacker, so I've decided to go back to the microns, even though I still have these Le Pens, tons of them laying around. So every once in a while I'll grab one, but these the microns are I think are better pens.
Yeah, I like microns better as well. I wonder if you'd like that pen. You probably don't want to spend that on it though. So I have a fountain pen that has a flexible nib to it.
Really?
And now I will say I've had this pen for at least 5 years and it's never clogged. And one of the reasons is the pen itself was $150. But it's not one of those fountain pens. It's like, oh, $25 and it's flexible. And then next thing you know, it clogs after a day of not using it. This thing has never clogged. It has there's 3 points: extra fine, and fine. I have the extra fine, which I would say is probably, without the flex, equal to a 001 micron or 01 micron, whatever that is, 01 micron.
Right.
But it does have flex. So when you press down on it, you can get a thicker line weight, and it glides across the paper, man. It glides.
Really?
So, I mean, I can send you the link to it. Like I said, I got it on Amazon. What's the guy's name? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Nick Meglin, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but he worked for Mad Magazine for a long time. Real good friends with Frazetta. He'd actually go over to Frazetta's house when they were teenagers, and Frank's mom would be like, "Get in here for playing baseball. You boys need to eat." Nick was a great cartoonist, hell of a great guy. I met him in a National Cartoonist Society. Anyhow, he introduced me to the pen, and I mean, it's funny, when he did, he carried 2 of them with him. And I was like, "Why do you carry 2?" And he goes, "Well, they're $150 a piece. So I carry one that is my old one that's about 15 years old for people like yourself that are like, ooh, can I try it? So if they mess it up, I don't care. And then the other one is one that I only have had for like a year or 2 that I don't let anybody use." And I tried it, and oh my God, it was, I'm going to find the link because somebody in the chat just asked, what fountain pen is this? So I'll post it in a private chat, and then if you want to post it in the main chat, you can. Okay. I just can't post in the main chat. So
right.
But it's nice. It is, like I said, it is pricey, but I've had it for at least 6 or 7 years. It has never clogged. It is, and I've let it sit for over a week, and then picked it up and just started using it.
So does it carry ink in a cartridge, like in it, or do you have to dip it? Okay.
No, it's a cartridge pen.
So it doesn't splatter or anything then?
Nope.
Wow. Okay. You have piqued my interest.
Yep, I'm looking for it now. I know it's a Namiki. I just have to find the exact. There it is. Let's see. Here we go. Prime. So it's called, and I'll post the link, but it's called Pilot Namiki Falcon Fountain Pen. The one I have is the black barrel with the gold accent, and it's the soft, fine nib. It comes in fine, broad, and medium. I think I actually have the extra fine. So let me get that link.
No, wait a minute. Does it have interchangeable tips, or do you have to buy?
No. You pick which nib you want.
Oh, geez. So you're $150 for every time you want a different size.
But I did buy I have to go look. I either have the medium or fine. So a few years later, I was like, this is really good. Let me try the larger nib by a little bit. It's just a little too thick for me. So I use it for like panel borders and stuff.
Now, which number was that was too thick?
I'm going to go look in a second after I paste this into the chat for you. And actually looking at it, it's gone up to 180.
Woo!
But I honestly cannot say enough good stuff about it. But yes, it is costly, but like I said, I've had it for at least,
it works. I mean,
I've had it for 5 or 6 years. I just pasted it in a private chat. So if you want to take a break and look, you can. I got to take my headphones out for a second so I can go get the other pen and tell you which one it is. Hold on.
All right. Let's go ahead and put this in. Oops.
And I'm back. Now, if you want, if you want to solo screen me, I got both the pens so I can hold them up to the camera.
Just a second.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. So let's see. I'm trying to look which is which. Okay.
All right, there. I just posted it in the chat.
There it is.
Okay, so then let's take a look at.
I got to put my glasses on so I can see what nib this is. This is the extra fine right there. It gets too blurry when I try to get it real close. But I got the silver tip. This is the one I've had for, I think, 6 years. And it still works like a joy. And then when I finally decided to buy the thicker one here, I got gold so I wouldn't get them confused.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is, I think, this one, I can read this one a little better. Pilot, goddamn, my eyes are so bad. So old. I think it's the fine. So I think I bought the extra fine and the fine. But the extra fine, you can easily go back and forth with it, like scribble, I guess you would say. And unlike a 102, it's not going to all over the place.
That was my question. So you're saying basically the extra fine is really the one you want to get that gives you the flexibility to do the line work, like on the interior line work that you'd be with like shading or whatever. It gives you enough flexibility that you can get,
Oh, hold on. Let me turn this light off. There. See that? Can you see the flex in that line?
Barely. It's a little pixelated, but
yeah, it's hard to see, but I just did another one. Yeah. But
gotcha.
You get the idea. And I'm just going back and forth. I just scribbled back and forth with that one. Damn it. I'm trying to, here we go. Yeah, it's a little pixelated. That's the extra fine, which I would say is comparable to maybe a 01 or a 02. And then the other one.
Wait a minute here. Jeff Potts says, Bob, these guys are too busy nerding out. Such disrespect when we're trying to educate the audience. All right.
So let's see.
What is that supposed to mean? Artemis Taber is in the house. He says, does Aaron still have his mouth full? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
What is that? Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I just did
I actually can see it better now.
I just did a thicker line with the fine point without bearing down. That's just how thick the line kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to check into that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Jeff Potts, a little pixelated. I've seen better resolution with a Pong game.
All right, Potts. You subscribe to my channel and I'll forget you said that.
Oh my gosh. Dave Olbrich says, when are you going to talk about who's stronger, Thor or Superman? Wow.
Superman. Right, Aaron?
Well, you know what Walt Simonson would say. It depends on who writes the story, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true.
I starved myself. I'm still eating. Of course I'm still eating. I got chocolate-covered almonds.
Yeah. Aaron, I'm going to bounce. Dennis just got here, so we have to show prep for our show at 5. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for disrupting my show and throwing me off my game. But
that wasn't me. Next time. Look, man, don't talk bad about Christine. She's sensitive. Okay? She's sensitive. No. She wants to cosplay this year as Amethyst because of your design. And I'll try to talk her off the ledge. You're her favorite artist, which hurts me because I'm right here. I should be her favorite artist. So,
all right. I apologize. Thanks for bringing her in. It was great to meet her. And thank you, Andy, for spicing up the show like I would never have expected you to do. So
next time I'm on the stream, I'll introduce you to Chris, who is the world's best inker.
Okay. I can't wait.
Okay.
All right. Catch you later, man.
Bye. See ya.
Oh, wow. that was something else. I am inking a zombie, in case you guys were wondering. And I'm using a 0.3 micron. I have to admit, I'm really intrigued by those pens, but God, that's expensive. Look, Joe wants me to invite Art into the stream. Art should invite me to his stream. He has way more followers than I do. Yeah, Dave, if it was only $100 pen, I think it's actually, he said 180 now. Wow. I know, that's like, well, this print actually includes all the monster types. There's actually a golem right there, or golem. And then we got a witch up here. My daughter said, why is that witch like so pretty? And I went, well, because that's how she lures guys in, right? She makes them think she's this beautiful woman, and then, you know, she goes all witchy on them. So anyway, I wanted to get this zombie inked before I have to leave to pick up my daughter. And if you look at what I'm doing here, this is about as close as I can get on this. Is I'm really treating these pens like pencils. Just kind of going back and forth. You can see the motion like this. I'm not doing these like I would do with a brush, where I would just do one line. And I want the edges on this thing to be a little bit rough, so I'm treating it like, again, like I would a pencil, and just kind of sketching back and forth with a measure of control, because I still want the lines in certain places and certain thicknesses, but I'm certainly using a lot more latitude with my pen stroke than I normally do. Getting it a little more angular. For whatever reason, when you have a really smooth line, it tends to make everything kind of look and feel like porcelain, right? And it becomes too refined. I mean, unless that's what you're going for, right? If you're Brian Bolin, you're going for super refined, super slick looking work. If you're going for what I'm doing, I want it more choppy and a little bit more broken. And that's what I've been able to, I think, achieve by using the pen like this. So again, it was kind of the point that I was making, you know, early on when I started doing this, was that I don't really look at it like I'm, you know, it's easier or less time, that I'm saving time or effort by doing this. It's actually, I think, taking me probably longer, but it's easier to do mentally, as I think I pointed that out before, because it's a more of a natural, for me anyway, because I using a pencil so much throughout my career, that using a pen like a pencil is very very appealing and makes inking more fun for me. So even after this project, I may keep doing this, because I can still get the detail and the look that I want. You know, if I wanted to go slicker, and even looking at that right now, you look at that and say, well, Aaron, that doesn't look that rough. And it really doesn't, but I've got a lot more broken line stuff. And you look at his cheekbone right here, like how I was able to thicken that area right there and kind of angle it up, you know, and you can see I've got a little bit of the line coming off his brow there. And that's the kind of looseness that that I kind of want to get on this, and I think is really helps create the look that I'm going for. You know, not only is Art the best inker, he can draw really well. And it's funny, I look at guys like him and Dan Panosian, who spent most of their careers inking, or at least that's what we associate them with. And they both draw really, really well. I'm a big fan of Dan's as well. I just love his stuff. There you go. That'd be a good Halloween issue. Maybe I'll do that. Actually, not to get ahead of myself, but I was just thinking about that this morning. I was like, okay, well, after this story, what do I do with Wraith? And I've got a vampire story, so I guess that would be the next thing up. So, but like this vampire, you know, I don't like the suave ones with, you know, nice hair and, you know, these kind of romantic figures. They bore me. I want ones that kind of look more scary and monstery like. And Leg Kick says, your zombie looks very Wrightson-like. Yeah, it does. And oh, look at that. That's interesting. Of course, Barry Windsor Smith was a pen guy. Wrightson was a brush guy, but right until Wrightson got into his, you know, in the later 70s and started doing his Frankenstein work, where he obviously did all that in pen, but he started using pen on some of his comic book work too. If you look at like Pepper Lake Monster in Creepy Magazine, or was that in Eerie Magazine? That has a lot of pen work in it. And he would combine both pen and brush to get different effects. And in fact, he inked Swamp Thing number 10. His final issue was all inked in pen. And as I recall, I read someplace that he said that inking with a brush was getting too easy for him, if you can imagine that. And so he wanted to challenge himself a little bit, so he inked the entire 10th issue with a pen. And of course, it's really, really cool. But what you get when you ink with a pen like that is your solid black areas, you can make them sort of broken black, right? So they're cross-hatching or whatever, which Wrightson did a lot. And it gives kind of a little bit of extra energy to the drawing when your blacks have some broken area in them, as opposed to just being this solid, flat black area. And I don't know if Hillary Bart is still in here, but he was, I remember working with him on a couple things back in the mid to late 90s. And he had transitioned from being almost an exclusive brush inker to a pen inker. And I remember us having discussions about that and sort of what the, you know, the different feel was for the and the looks you could get. Edge Pest Control letting me know they just sprayed for spiders. I'm not much of a Brie Larson fan either, so I'll let that slide. Hyper Kaiju's got me pegged. I'm definitely a Nosferatu guy. Definitely. Omar Comics is telling me the Pilot sells some good entry-level fountain pens for like $10. You know, here's an interesting concept. Let me throw this out at you guys. Just curious on opinions, because I don't know that I would ever do it, because as Graham Nolan said almost the second I even joked about it, he said, oh, shipping on that would kill you. But I would love to do a treasury-sized edition. Remember those? But if you did them in a campaign like this, I'll bet could probably get enough backers to actually do it. But can you imagine the shipping on just one of those? Wow. I mean, that's the thing, you know, when you're doing this crowdfunded stuff, it's like you have to keep that in mind. It's like, you know, I'm going to charge $30 for the book, but it's going to cost you $20 to ship, and you're just like, no one wants to, you know, pay that much for shipping. So, you can see I just changing gears here. I just scribbled in that black, and I left a few spots in there. They'll probably close up when this gets shrunk down, but it looks cool on the original. And I will go in the heavy black areas in here and do that with a brush. But it still feels weird to me because I almost feel like I'm cheating, because using a pen is so much easier when I'm using it like this anyway, than a brush. It almost feels like, well, this isn't real art. It can only be real art unless I used a brush, but that's just not true. It's like I brainwashed myself for years. Of course, I worked with a lot of guys and hung out with a lot of guys that were brush snobs, so rubbed off on me. Excuse me. Wow. Now that I'm over the, I think I'm at 1,020 right now is what the subscriber numbers are on this channel. I forget to keep pushing the pushing the subscribe button. Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, but would you pay? That's the thing. If I could bring them to a show, right, and you're at the show, and you could just buy them from me at the show, thank you. That would work. But if you're in a situation where most of your audience you're not going to see at a show, right? So you'd have to ship that stuff out, and shipping out those treasury editions would be expensive. I mean, just the boxes to put them in would be humongous. But as I was getting to, I don't do this enough. So let's take 1 second to do this. See, if we keep growing those numbers, actually, I don't know what that means. I just wanted to get monetized. Now I'm monetized, and now I don't know what to do. So. But I will, I am going to create more content other than just live streaming. So you can see how that's coming along. The thing when you're doing monsters and things like that, it's like they really don't fully come to life until you get all the heavy blacks in. That really makes a huge difference. And what I should do, any smart person, what you do is you do all the line work, and then you erase the pencil, and then you fill in the black, right? Because anytime you erase, you're going to dull your ink line. And but I'm so undisciplined when it comes to that type of thing, because if I see a black area, I'll just like fill it in, you know. And it's also, for me, I like to see the drawing evolving in a finished form while I'm working on it. But if you just go through and just are super disciplined and just do all the line work and then erase everything and then put the blacks in, I don't know. It seems too technical, too, follow the rules kind of thing. And And it's hard to change in mid-stroke, right? Because if you're saying, I'm not going to add the blacks until the very end, or fill the blacks in until the very end, well, maybe when you fill the blacks in, it doesn't quite look like you thought it was going to. But if I'm kind of doing it as I go along, the drawing's sort of evolving, and I can kind of catch it and say, I don't like that. I'm going to add some lines here. I'm going to add some more black here, which I suppose you can do after the fact as well, but I don't know. Just feels more organic to me when I'm kind of tackling that stuff as I go. Again, let's take a look at these veins. I've done this before, but this is kind of something I'd really like to point out. Your goal when you're doing veins, excuse me, or tendons or whatever in a creature is they're supposed to be underneath the skin, right? So if I delineate the line on a vein or a tendon on both sides of that vein or tendon, it looks like it's drawn on top of the skin, which is not the effect we're looking for. So what I do is I will hit the underside of the vein with shadow, okay? But the top side, I won't indicate the line, okay? I'm not drawing both sides of the vein. I'm only drawing one side, the shadow side. And that helps create the feeling or the illusion that these veins are under the skin and not, drawn on top. That it's more like a rounded, bumped surface. And your shadow, of course, is on the side away from the light, and the one nearest to the light is, that's going to be washed out, so you're not going to see that line. Now, I've always done it that way, and it works. And I've seen guys for years, especially when comics got, hyper detailed in the 90s, the advent of image comics and everything, that I saw guys doing veins incorrectly, and it's driving me nuts. It's like, you do not delineate both sides of a vein, only the shadow side. You see how I could just, right here, how I was doing the, very controlled line, then I just started scribbling back and forth as it got darker. I mean, that's the kind of thing you can do with these pens that you can't really do with a brush. And I don't know, I just love that. I love that freedom. And as I've stated before, all the work I've been doing on these live feeds and stuff, that almost 90% of everything I've done or more has been sketches, right, or commissions, in which I do use a pen and do use this sort of method that I'm using right now. And I've gotten more and more comfortable using the pen and more comfortable with how it looks, that I now feel pretty good about incorporating that into my, what I would consider finished or published or work that's intended to be published. Now, it will definitely blur the line between finished work and commission work, because my commission works, they're not sketches, but I don't charge. Like if you wanted a black and white cover piece, right? Like say, Aaron, can you redo Amazing Spider-Man 13, right? That's Mysterio, in case anybody was wondering. And so let's say I did a cover recreation. I would charge you what I'd call cover quality. Would charge you anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to do something like that. But if you came to me and said, Aaron, can you do the Hulk? Just a marker commission Hulk, I'd be charging, for a color one, like $375. And so, but if I'm using the same inking technique to do both, there's very little difference in terms of the time it takes me to ink it. I mean, I guess the detail would be different. But yeah, so I'm going to have to sort of figure out my pricing on commissions if I'm going to start using pens regularly as opposed to brush. The travails of an artist, right? I wish more people would, well, maybe they don't. I was gonna say, I wish more people would hire me to do cover recreations. I think those are kind of fun, especially the older ones. But they are kind of expensive. So I see why that's not, the number one request that I get. Keeping my eye on the clock here. I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes. Get my daughter, but I want to let's get this eye done at least anyway. Again, I'm going to do this very rough. And the thing I've noticed when I started doing this stuff rough is that it doesn't on the surface look all that different than if I was doing it with a brush in terms of how tight it looks. It's when you start you look at it really closely and you go, oh, that's a little rough, but what it does create sort of almost I think a subconscious feel that makes the art feel different, even though it doesn't really look all that different. But I just think that the rough edge line and stuff, you pick that up even maybe if you don't notice it right away, but maybe subconsciously you look at it and say, there's a little bit more energy in the line, or there's a little bit more character in the line. And really, as I said before, the bottom line is, how does it look? Is it a successful piece of art? Not, what technique did I use to get there? Because there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, as they say, right? And also, I think I've gotten more confident as I've gotten older in putting lines down, so that when I used to put everything was there, in the line work, in the pencil work, everything was there. There was nothing to question. And partly you do that because you never know necessarily what you're going to get with your inker, unless it's someone you've worked with for a long time and developed a rapport with. But in the industry, you don't always get, people are not always available, the ones you want to use or whatever, or work with. And so you never know. And so, you develop a real tight, foolproof pencil technique. So, so everybody can, so your stuff's going to look pretty much the same no matter who inks it. And at least that's the goal. And so I got to a point even when I inked myself that I would, everything would be super tight because I didn't want to make any decisions while I was inking, because I didn't want to make a decision and screw it up when I was inking, because if I did that, then, now you're talking white out or starting over or something, because you're putting down permanent lines. But you have to kind of get to a point where you realize that, every line isn't sacred. It's like every line doesn't have to be perfect, because people, again, are not going to focus on, well, those 4 lines he just put in his hair, that one's kind of wobbly. You're going to look at the drawing as a whole and say either it works or it doesn't. I think someone pointed this out to me very early on, that the average person spends about a minute on a comic page, right, while you're reading it. And as artists, we spend hours, some guys spend days on a page, right? And no one's going to, well, I shouldn't say no one, but a lot of people are not going to sit there and analyze every line you put down. They're going to kind of look at it and say, well, that works. And they'll just move on to the next panel because they're reading the comic. They're not studying it and studying your art technique. Some people do, of course, go back and look at what you've done. And but even then, I don't think they're looking at it as closely as we are when we're creating it. So you get to a point where you start to realize me futzing with these little lines right here is inconsequential. What I'm looking for is, how does this feel? How does this look as a finished piece? And if it looks cool, then I've succeeded. If it doesn't, then I've failed. And some of that, of course, has to do with the quality of the inking, but it's the overall quality of the inking. It's not a line here and there. It's your overall approach to the piece and the technique you're using. And do you have a firm grasp on what you're doing and how you're doing it? Is sort of the key. Not, did I get a perfect line over here? And see, then I can just go in and kind of sketch in that shadow. And I don't know, I kind of like the way that looks, right? So it's kind of broken up there. Oops, sorry. Underneath his ear, rather than just solid. You know, maybe some of these hairs need to be thickened up a little bit, but because this is going to be black all around them, because this is the cloak of the Wraith that's in there. But I can use that pen just like that, like a brush, and get, you know, nice controlled lines if I want to, or I can get in there and get a little looser with it and get it a little more sketchy looking, depending. So I'm digging the flexibility, and I'm digging the my concentration level doesn't have to be this out of control like it is with a brush. I can get some really cool effects still. Like these lines here, for example. Now all this has been done with a pen so far, like these lines right here. And you can see they're kind of flat. They don't have a lot of variation in them. And there's part of me that kind of wants to come in here and make these a little bit heavier. These ones up at the top, these lines I haven't done yet. And I might do that with a brush. But if I do this with a brush, the amount of control I'm going to have to use in order to get that the way I want it to look is 10 times what I'd have to do if I just kind of went in and scribbled the lines in with this pen. And then you have to ask yourself, well, is the ending effect, is it all that different? I probably will go in with a pen to do that, because I just know that I want a little different feel than what I'm getting down here with these finer lines up here. So we'll see. Anyway, there's the zombie. That is not appearing in this story, but this is really just sort of a print to kind of give you an idea of, or will be a print to give you an idea of the type of stuff the Wraith will be dealing with in the future. So, this, like I said, this particular story is werewolves, but there's a lot more monsters under the sun that the Wraith will have to deal some serious justice on. But man, this is what fun it is to do this stuff. And it does really look like Wrightson. But to me, that's a success, because when Wrightson was at his best, he was pretty freaking awesome. I don't think that that's a bad term. It's what I would classify noodling as. A good example is on this page 1. And I believe I actually inked this panel live on a couple videos ago, so you could take a look at that video. But if you can see here, the cross-hatching on his face, or the broken lines here in the shadow, or in the nose here, or up here in the, yeah, okay. So you're basically taking, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna have to get out of here in about 2 minutes, but you take noodling is basically, let's say this is a dude's nose, right? And I'm just gonna go in and start shading a little bit. I'm not really using I'm not concerned about the line quality as much as I am the shading effect that maybe I'm going for. So I will just sit here and kind of noodle around with the lines, adding, it ends up being a superfluous amount of detail, right? Because you got all this line work in here. But that's essentially what you're doing is you just, you have to know what you want it to look like. So even though you're noodling, it doesn't mean you're not noodling with randomly. You still have you have a purpose, a final purpose in mind, a goal you're trying to achieve, a look you want. But it's basically just kind of building stuff up with line work, creating shadows or whatever. That would be what I would consider noodling. All this little kind of fine detail line work. I could continue to build this up and do a bunch of different things. And so basically that's where that term comes from, is you're just kind of noodling the drawing. You keep putting lines on it, you keep futzing around with it, you keep messing around with it and developing it as you go. So you're doing, and you can do that with a pencil as well, where you're kind of fleshing out or feeling your way through a drawing, and so you're noodling, putting little lines and details here and there, and that's kind of how I would describe that. Will you be offering head sketches or remarks as add-ons? Probably yes. Well, you have to define spotting blacks. Spotting blacks is, I believe, defining the area of darkness with your pencil, not filling it in with black ink. I got in a big discussion with Paul Wright about this, and I can't even remember. Spotting blacks is not the same as filling in blacks. I believe spotting blacks, and my terminology sucks. I admit this before. I just do it. You know what I mean? But I believe the spotting blacks would refer to, well, you could do that in the pencils as well. And I do that. You figure out where your shading is first, and then you line out of it. You do your line work out of those shades. So yes, you spot your blacks first, but when you're inking it, filling in the blacks is not spotting blacks. Spotting blacks is figuring out where the blacks are in your drawing. Then filling them in with the ink is part of the inking process, but you can do that last because you put little X's in where the solid black areas would be to remind you, and then you erase everything, right? So your line work is already done, but you haven't filled in your blacks yet. You've spotted them in the drawing, you filled them in with the ink, and so you fill them in last. And that way your blacks are super black and they don't get grayed by, erasing over the top of them. But I try to erase around my black areas, solid black areas, and just kind of dig the pencil out from the line work. And when I'm doing something like this with Wraith of God, where it's kind of messy and rough feeling anyway, I'm not all that concerned about getting all the pencil out of there. Because if it scans and gets a little broken and rough in there, that's fine. That's the texture I want anyway. So I'm not quite as uptight about that. Aaron, I'm learning so much from this part of the stream. Thanks, Joe. I'm glad you are. I got to run, guys. I got to go pick up my daughter. But anyway, there you have it. And I appreciate you guys stopping in and checking this out. As usual, you guys, I couldn't do this if you weren't here to watch it and participate with me. So I greatly appreciate that. We have the professionals Thursday night. I believe Art Taber is hosting. And then Sunday, I'll be back with the big show with Shelley Showtime. And I'm working on at least one video and maybe some more that we'll show there. And I might be back for another last second live stream, probably not tomorrow, but possibly on Friday. We'll see what happens. So anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Like and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and check out my Wraith of God Indiegogo campaign, which goes live in about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. So if you want that limited trading card, sign up before the campaign goes live. And there you have it. So until next time, everybody, see you later, and thank you.